Morning. The only reason I'm going live, guys, is because my audio doesn't work on my headset. I don't know how to figure it out, so it only works when I go live. So, it's early in the morning. I got the Antonio Brown song stuck in my head. Whole lot of money, whole lot of money. So I listened to the show, the Pat McCaffrey show. If any of you guys are into the NFL at all, and uh, it's just crazy how listening to that show is like so ridiculous compared to listening to just the media and all the lies that the media uh, lies or misinformation or somehow just accidentally say the wrong thing, and then you like go watch his show and he's like, "Yeah, I just talked to Aaron Rodgers." No, that's not true at all. So like, not just this contract deal, if anyone knows what I'm talking about, but supposedly he just signed a $200 million, $250 million deal or something, and apparently that's not really what happened. But anyways, so how it relates to trucking is everybody talks. You can't, like everybody. I just want to basically talk about the rates in trucking and how there's a false. I don't know. I want to say a false narrative, but it sounds very like just numb because that's just such a thing that that you hear all the time now. But that's pretty much what it is. So a false narrative is basically a guy that heard of somebody making some amount of money in trucking that's astronomical, that probably did it, right? It's not a it's not a rate. It's not a rate or not a rate, but it's not a number that you should be getting into trucking and plan on doing back to back, back to back. So, I mean, you can hear somebody else say that they heard someone say that they're killing it in trucking and they're doing. I'm gonna just make the numbers ridiculous so that people know that I don't have anyone in mind or basing it off anything, but $20,000 a week. So now everybody that is trucking looks at their own stuff and they think to themselves, it just does a disservice to the industry because now we got two things happening. We've got semi-established guys that are looking at their self and they're thinking, what the heck? I'm not doing 20,000 a week. I'm not getting paid enough. My rate's not enough. Like this or that, and maybe they aren't, but maybe they should be content. Is what I'm saying. Maybe if you're getting ahead in life, you should be content. You should always be striving for more, but don't be thinking that what you're doing is worse than something else if it's providing for your family, right? So that's kind of number one. Then the next thing is the new guy that's just getting started. He's all or she is all messed up because now we're basing this rate in trucking off a fictitious number of gotta make 20,000 a week or it's no good. Gotta make 20,000 a week or it's no good. So then, because, like I said, somebody heard that somebody did that somebody does $20,000 a week, and let's just say that it's actually true, $20,000 a week one time in his 10-year career or her 10-year career as a driver, as an owner, or maybe they have 20 trucks and one out of the 20 has some optimized run that grosses $20,000. Like you're not hearing the whole story, and that this is the same deal with the Aaron Rodgers contract. That is not the whole story. Not the whole story, but if you just read the headlines, it's like, what the heck? Are you kidding me? So that's a lot like trucking. Another thing is sometimes you got to compromise to get where you want to go. And this has nothing to do with Aaron Rodgers, but it kind of does. I heard recently that Tom Brady has never he's never been the highest paid quarterback, and he's never uh, like maxed out how much money he should have been able to get. He never was chasing money. He was chasing championships, and it obviously worked out well for him. And it's the same thing in trucking, especially when you're getting started. It's not, it can't be about the money, or you're not going to get where you want to go, because you're going to lose drivers constantly. You're going to, you got to just humble yourself to say this. Like, again, we're going back to this is a Tom Brady now. We're done with Aaron Rodgers, but it's still the same thing. You have to humble yourself, and you have to say, long term, this is where I want to be. This is where I want to go. These are some of the sacrifices that I'm going to have to do for my business, my family, to get where I want to go. There's going to be situations where your driver, your business partner, a business partner would be an owner-operator, is in the wrong. Maybe they're pulling a trailer of yours and their tire blows. They should have to pay for it. But you might have to say, you know what? I got that. I'll pay for it. Not every time. I mean, at some point, what ends up happening is there's a difference between you basically bending over every time and taking the taking the hit, and once in a while or this and that, or just like just whatever. You can't expect you just got to understand that people are human, and you have to be the bigger human, and you got to realize, do you want to be right or do you want to be rich? I guess is what it comes down to. That's what one of my mentors used to say. And again, I don't know if I really explained it well or not, but let me know if I didn't, or if you're confused with the whole Tom Brady analogy. But I'm just going to try to say it one more time, just because I don't know if I did it or not. But Tom Brady did not ask for the most money in his whole career, so I've heard. He was more worried about winning, keeping good people around him. He understood that the whole, like I just talked about the other week, the whole you're know your worth that whole know your worth thing, and you can command the rates. Well, what if you can command the rates, but there's only so much money that the team has or can give you or whatever, and you know your worth, but now you don't have anyone good around you to play with. So the whole idea is, you got to give to get sometimes, and there's no box in being an entrepreneur. That's the whole point of it. You gotta build structure around. You gotta have a company that's solid legally, and like what would the word be? Legally and safety wise, like your DOT number, you got to have a strong house in that way, and you can't waver from that. But you got to be able to, you just have to be able to work with people and clients. Like, it's not, you got to somehow create a win-win, but then you also have to have some structure as well. And go for it. All right, guys, get to work.